Hi, welcome to a new episode of the ChileKnitz podcast. My name is Connie, and on this episode I am going to tell you a little bit about my trip to Barcelona and my experience in the Barcelona Knits Festival, which was amazing. So I'm going to try and keep this brief because I will probably be talking for like hours if I actually told you everything I did during the 10 days I was away. But I'll try to summarize a little bit and not to get carried away. So first things first, as you know, I live in Chile, so the trip over there took forever. I had a huge layover in Sao Paulo. I traveled with a friend, Joanna, hi, and she came along. Daniel was supposed to come along with me, but work, things got in the way. And so eventually I asked my friend to join me. She said yes, thankfully, and off we went into this adventure. We both had been already to Barcelona, so we basically wanted to go and visit certain things that we already seen but wanted to see again. And we had like a more relaxed schedule to do other things that we wanted, like, you know, yarny things and yarn crawls in Barcelona shops, for yarn shops. And so the first day a friend picked us up. We went to her house. We met with another friend who gave me Alma from Hawaii. She has a podcast called Casa de la Vega. All these people I'm going to mention are podcasters that podcast in Spanish. So maybe you're not going to know them, but if you are interested, just hop on to their YouTube or their Instagram and check them out if you speak Spanish. So Alma gave me this lovely project bag. She knows I like flamingos, and so she gave me this gift. And inside of it, she put a CD that her husband recorded. He plays the ukulele. So I haven't opened it yet, but he played for us one day, and it was really lovely. And inside there's also a little bowl that I might be used for like stitch markers or maybe beads if I'm knitting with beads. A little like mint box that I can also use for progress keepers later. And this, I'm gonna assume it's a bookmark, but I'm not sure. I think I'm gonna hang it on my Christmas tree. I think it's gonna look really cool. So that's it for that. And so we spent the whole day there. We were extremely jet lagged, very tired. We arrived at like 6 in the morning. We did not sleep at all during the flight. The long flight from Brazil to Spain took around 11 hours, more or less. So it's pretty intense. We were really tired, but we did not want to sleep because if we slept, then we wouldn't be able to adjust the time zone change. So we sort of tried to push through the jet lag, the tiredness and the craziness during the day. At some point I started feeling dizzy, like this all tiredness sort of won me over, so I went to lie down for a little bit, and then we went to get some food. I mean, the food in Spain is incredible. We were eating a lot of jamón serrano, which is like the cured ham, basically like prosciutto but their own version. Olives, I mean, I am an olive fan, but this is just like a different level. They have all sorts of olives. Some places serve them to you warm, which is really nice. Of course, sangria, oh my god, it's like incredible. And they do this thing with bread. They're amazing bakers. They make the most incredible breads and pastries and stuff like that. And they do this thing, is very typical for them, to do like bread and tomato with garlic. But they sort of rub the garlic on the bread, and then they add this like tomato, like the smashed tomato on the bread, which it sounds super simple, but it's really good. So after that, end of the day, we went to the hotel. We were absolutely tired. We weren't even able to knit in the house with my friend. She helped me label all the yarn for the festival that was going to happen the next week. And then, well, the next week we basically went all over Barcelona. We took knitting classes. We went to really nice yarn shops. Paula, my friend that lives there, she knows all the yarn shop owners, so some of them even opened the shop that was closed that day for us, which was really nice. And then, well, we visited like all the art, all the works of Gaudi, which is one of my favorite like architects in the planet. I love the way that he sort of inspires himself in like organic things, and like the way that nature works and how the wind blows, and it's wonderful. And it's very moving. When we went to the Sagrada Familia, the Sacred Family, the church that is still in progress, I was definitely moved by how he envisioned his creation. He was Catholic. He was, you know, very respectful and very caring of the church and God and, you know, the religion. And so he created this immense, it's a work of art. It's still in progress. I think what he envisioned that his creation was gonna have to get finished by future generations. I mean, I have no idea how they even started to build this back in the day with the technology that they had, let alone now. Like, it's I'm going to show you pictures right here, but really the sheer size of this building and the way that it looks and every single detail in it is just awe-inspiring. I was in shock. The glasswork in all the colors, but they all had meaning and they all had a special placement in the space, and how the light came in and colored with the light through the glass, colored all the whiteness in the main, you know, area of the church. It all went like in a rainbow sense. So basically you started like from the beginning of the day till the end of the day if you walked all around. It's just incredibly moving. The roof and the mosaic work on the outside is really lovely, representing fruits and food. Basically it's all inspired in like forest, so even the door in the entrance is like a texture in metal of ivy leaves with little snails, little ladybugs, little spiders. It's just like every single detail is thought out impeccably. He even designed the chandeliers for the inside, like the chairs where the priest will leave like all the objects they use in the ceremony. It's just, and it's still not finished. They will finish it allegedly by 2026. It's going to be a lot larger than it already is. There's a lot of spires that have not been finished. It's a slow work in progress, and I can't wait to see that done. It's just incredible. So beyond that and my fan moment of Gaudi, we went to Park Guell, which is another one of his creations, with a ton of his architectural signatures, basically. So everything's, of course, really organic. There's a house, like I think it's like basically the entrance of the park. It looks like a gingerbread house. It's just like incredible. All the mosaic, there's a lot of ceramics involved, of course, but not just in mosaic. There's on the wall, there's this like, if you will, like an inverted plate, like a little tile, but it has like an denture, like it looks like a plate, and they're all over the place, and they're all different, and they're all in different colors, and it's just like, and the garden is packed with flowers, and the landscaping is super fun. He was very playful, and it's just incredible. We had to go up a massive hill to get there. My friend almost didn't make it. We were running a little bit late because we went for breakfast before go. You have to have an appointment to go there. You can't just like go and pay the entrance. You need to do this beforehand. So we were knitting while we were having breakfast, like making time to get there. And suddenly I look at the watch and oh my god, we're late, we're so late. And so we had to basically leg it over there, ask for directions on the way, and sort of we made it with 1 minute to spare to get in. So thankfully we could, and we could visit the park. They were refactioning a lot of the areas, so we were not able to see all of it, but I think we saw most of it. I had been there when I was a lot younger, so it was a really nice refresher of how the place looks. And also, I think that at different ages you sort of think of things in different ways. And I think now that I'm a little bit older, I think I appreciate it even more. It's sort of really awe-inspiring. I am still reeling from it. I have not been able to settle back down in my normal rhythm back home because I can't stop thinking about like how wonderful this trip was. We also had this Spanish podcaster meetup. We all rented. We were in a hotel with my friend for most of the time, but for the weekend of the Barcelona Knits Festival, we all rented an apartment together, and so it's all these like Spanish-speaking podcasters and knitters and, you know, the tribe. And we had this podcaster meetup. Joji Locatelli was there with Ale from Pura Hilados. I met with ChileKnitz. Hi, Liz. Which was a great meeting. We met each other at Rhinebeck. This time we sort of were vending as well, so we met up at this podcaster meetup, and it was really nice to hang out with her. I met other dyers, I met other designers, and it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. I will post some pictures at the end of the episode so you guys can see. I don't want to bore you with the details because I know that if you don't watch any Spanish-speaking podcasts, you're not going to know who I'm talking about, but at least I think I mentioned everyone that you might know. So, after this evening in the podcaster meetup, we all went for dinner. It was really lovely. And the next day, very early morning, my friend and I and my other friend Paula, who was the one that picked me up from the airport, she helped us set up at the fair. I had a small spot, so I had to supposedly set up between 7 a.m. and 10 a.m. So I got up really early, we went to set up, my friends helped me, then we went for breakfast. Before the festival started, I went all around all the stalls to see what things I liked. So I bought a few things that I'm going to show you. First of them all is a pin from the fair. This is the official like logo of the festival, an animal pin. And after that, I found this gorgeous bag. I knew that French was going to release this bag at some point. When they did, I went to their website and it had sold out. I wanted the brown one, but I couldn't get it because it was sold out, and obviously they sold out. They're gorgeous. And so when I spotted them at the fair, they were being sold by someone else, not French, by this brand called Rosa Pomar. They make yarn with recycled fibers. So I got this for socks. I've been coveting these forever, and then I found them. I had to get them. And then I found this lovely couple who dye yarn. They dye yarn together, and I fell in love with these colors. It looks very much like it looks on the screen. A little bit darker probably. So I got 3 of these to make myself a sweater. And then I did a few swaps. I did one with Trellis, and she handed me this, which I love. And last but not least, I did a swap with a lovely Diana from Love Bug Yarns. Check out her logo, it's so cute. She's a Portuguese girl that lives in Scotland. She speaks like a Scottish person, so I think she's been living there for a really long time. And she dyes gorgeous colorways. I really loved it. This one's called La Katrina, and it's her Stellina base with silver Stellina. And she said, okay, pick one, and then I'll go and pick one in your stall. And I'm like, okay. And it took me a long time to pick because I liked all the colors that she had. So it's a very hard one. And last, well, I said it was last, but I lied. This is last. These I got at the yarn shop, at one of the yarn shops we went. These are gonna be for Danny, since he now likes me to knit him socks. I got these for him because there's always an occasion to gift a pair of socks, right? So that's my haul. I got a few gifts from friends as well. My friend Belen from Tejer en Inglés, which means knitting in English. She has a podcast, and she also does tutorials for people that don't know how to read English patterns, or people that speak Spanish and don't know how to read English patterns. So basically what she does is that she picks all the abbreviations that the knitting language in English has, and she explains them in Spanish so people can actually follow the pattern in English with the knowing of what everything means, the abbreviations. So yay. And she was really kind. She made us all a bag. The inside is lovely with gorgeous color and polka dots, and I am in love. And what I like the most about it is that it's going to look really cool with a lot of pins. I can't wait to fit it up. Well, while we were there, we went to this craft shop that was right around the corner from the hotel. This is before the fair. And we got into a sewing class, and I learned how to make this bag. Hi, wait. I picked the fabric. It's a little bit like canvas. I'd say it's a light canvas. It's definitely not cotton. The beehive at the bottom is cotton, but this is a little bit canvasy, and it's got like well, I bought a few fabrics from in the shop. I don't want to bore you with showing them to you, but all I'm going to show is, of course, flamingos. I got the flamingos. I love them. I'm gonna make a few bags for myself with them. So I was super excited. That day was raining like upside down, basically. Crazy rain. And so we were lucky that we had organized this sewing lessons for the whole day. And because it was raining like crazy, nobody came to the class except us. So we were super lucky in a way, because the teacher was only there to teach us. And so we had like a very personalized sewing lesson, which was a lot of fun. The shop where I learned this is called Rosa's Crafts. I'm gonna put the name down here. In case you ever go to Barcelona, you should go and visit. They are very kind. They have lovely fabrics and buttons and all sorts of like anything you would need to sew. And of course you can pay for lessons. I think you could also even pay for time to sew. Some people just went in and they started sewing. They were not part of the class. So I'm thinking maybe they sort of rent the machines for a little bit, the sewing machines. I didn't ask. I completely forgot about that. But I think that's more or less how it went. Going back to the fair, before that, the day at the podcaster meetup, I got my pom-pom magazine. There's a design by Joji Locatelli that I really want to knit. It's called Arbor Vitae. I saw this pattern being knit when I went to Expo Lana. One of Joji's friends is one of her knitters, and so I saw it without the tassels. I think it's really cute with the tassels, but I don't think it's gonna look good on me specifically. So I'm gonna knit it without them, because it's got, like, you know, the little cables, and I think like it's gonna look really nice. I saw it in person, so I know how it looks without them, and I think it's gonna still be okay. I love it. Before that, though, I think I'm going to need a Gaudi sweater for myself. Going back to the fair, the day that I went shopping before it opened, then it opened, and the fair was completely packed. The line to get in was a 2-hour wait. So you can imagine that that day was completely crazy. ChileKnitz in Paris, Julie, if you're watching this, mwah. She designed the most gorgeous sweater with my yarn. We both had been talking for a little bit a while back, and I said, hey, if you want to try my yarn, let me know, check my shop, see if there's any colors that take your fancy. And she did, and she said, oh, I would like to, since you're going to Barcelona, I think I would like to design something with your yarn for the festival. And I was like, seriously? Oh my god, that would be so amazing. Would you like me to create a colorway for you, especially for this design? And so we talked about the whole Gaudi idea and his creations and the colors that he used. And I created the Gaudi colorway. And with that and another color that I sent, she created this stunning sweater. It looks like like the windows from the colored glass from the Sagrada Familia, but also it's inspired in Park Guell's like little shapes, and so it's just stunning. So I basically saw this design the day before Barcelona Knits was happening, and I was in complete awe when I saw this in person. I had to try it on, of course. I almost stole it, but don't tell anybody. And of course, I'm gonna have to knit that first before I knit this hockey sweater, because I have to have it. I already tried it on. I know it fits, so you know, it's inevitable. And I was very, very surprised by the amount of people that came and say hello, the warmth. Everyone was so happy. The teachers that were at the festival were amazing. In between them, Joji Locatelli was there, but also Nancy Marchand. Julie also did some lessons. Isabel Kramer, and a few others that I'm probably forgetting to mention. But if I remember, I will. And all the people that were vending, they had amazing products. The yarns that were being sold were so beautiful. I mean, I feel really honored to have been able to participate, and that I was allowed to be amongst all these amazing creators. The other thing I got from the fair were buttons. A lot of buttons. There was this little shop right next to my stand, across from it, that had the most incredible buttons that I have ever seen. I'm gonna put a picture here. And I went for a little bit, picked a few, and then bought those. And then when I went back to my stall, I was like, I saw a few more that I liked. I'm gonna go back. And so afterwards I went back and I got a ton more buttons. And so now I have to knit all the cardigans to use all these gorgeous, gorgeous buttons. Oh, I'm sorry. So yeah, I mean, the fair was incredible. It was crazy. It was my first festival ever. Like, I've never been selling yarn in a public place before. I've always done it online, or people come to my house in Chile and come and look at it, but I have never been in a situation like that. So it was very different. I loved it. I was exhausted, but it was something that I would happily do again. It was really nice to like feel all the warmth. Everyone was, you know, really happy, thinking about knitting and projects and speaking about knitting all day. It was really, really fun. My stall to the left was Norn Yarns. People had talked a lot about them to me before we went, and when I found out they were right next to me, I was super excited. Tuva and her friend Lot, they were vending there. They explained all the philosophy behind it. It was really lovely. Please go and check her out. Her yarns are stunning and extremely soft. They had all the samples there you could touch and see, and Julie Knits in Paris was with them because they're friends. And it was a lot of fun to be there. So that's in short my experience at the fair. I will put some pictures at the end of the podcast so you guys can see what happened. And also, well, about knitting, because of course it's a podcast about knitting, I took with me a shawl called Marvelous. It's a new pattern by Knit Graffiti. She released it really like a few days before I left Barcelona. Marvelous. And it's a brioche pattern, but mixed in with Gaudi stitch and a little bit of lace. And so I was very interested in the mix of techniques, because it's got like the hard parts and then the easy parts, and so it gives you a lot of time to breathe in between. I did not move along as much because at some point I made a mistake and I had to like rip back a few rows. And then when we were all talking and I was like brioching, it was a little bit like, oh, and then I was tired, and after the fair I really could not knit. I would have made all the mistakes in the world. But now that I'm back, I think I want to just plow through and finish it soon. This pattern uses 3 colors, so I'm using Dollhouse, it's a pink. This one's called Niño. And the last one is called Purple Dreams. And it's gonna come back. So you see the top, it's got garter stitch and lace, and then there's the brioche. And now I'm again at the garter stitch with the lace. I think the shape's gonna have more repeats. And then it's going to join with the purple after the garter in the same manner that it joins here. So I can't wait. I'm super happy with the project. I'm having a lot of fun knitting it because it's not monotonous at all. And it's going to be perfect for when winter comes along, because now it's summer, almost summer, and the weather is just scalding, crazy hot. So that is it about my trip. I think I fumbled a little bit and I am really sorry. I am still, as I said, on a high from all this traveling and excitement of meeting everybody and seeing beautiful works of art. So excuse me if I've been a little bit all over the place. My next project is going to be a Gaudi sweater. We've established that, and after that I want to knit an Elton. So I'll be telling you more about that in the episodes to come. Hopefully I'll be able to knit a lot this weekend so I can record next week and show you my progress, or maybe my finished object. Have fun, take care, and see you soon.
Gosh, look at that brioche. Gosh, look at that brioche. Gosh, look at that brioche. It stands out. Gosh, look at that brioche. Gosh, look at that brioche. Gosh, look at that brioche. It stands out. I asked kniters all around who created this design. Everybody stops and they're staring at me. They say, don't you know the queen? Do you live in the cave or what? Come on, really? It's Nancy and you know it. It's Nancy and you know it.